my dudes, my name is Tiffany. Welcome back to my series, Internet Analysis. Today we're actually analyzing some internet content because we're going to be talking about VSCO girls, e-girls, and teenage internet style, I guess. A lot of you suggested that I cover this topic, which has indeed blown up this summer. Everywhere I see VSCO girl memes, parody videos, there are probably literally thousands of transforming into a VSCO girl videos on YouTube. So what in the heck is a VSCO girl? Here is a meme that helped me understand, but also kind of confused me even more.
Hi, you must be new. Oh, these? These are just my scrunchies. I noticed you don't have one. Really? You keep that. Don't even worry about it. And this is my new lip gloss. It's my fave, really. Try some. Okay, well, it was nice meeting you.
That's my actual reaction to that video. What? So, VSCO is a photo editing app that apparently these type of girls use. And of course, this carries over to Instagram and even TikTok. Now, I have long resisted learning more about TikTok, downloading TikTok, but it keeps becoming more relevant even for older people like me. I'm 23, so I'm a little bit out of the range of Gen Z. I'm out of the loop, but TikTok is relevant, so I am gonna talk about it a little bit later in this video. But before I continue, real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Ana Luisa Jewelry. Once again, they sponsored my last video, and they actually sent me 2 more pairs, including this one. So again, if you guys are interested in their jewelry, it is amazing, high quality, it's sustainable, and it is beautiful. Click the link in the description to check them out. At first, the description of a VSCO girl to me just sounded like Emma Chamberlain. Maybe not current Emma Chamberlain, but like Emma Chamberlain before LA, before she changed. Apparently, this is what is on a VSCO girl checklist. Hydro flask, big shirt, metal straw, save the turtles. Just pretend that my Yeti is a hydro flask. Scrunchies, kanken backpack, I think that's how it's pronounced.
Det gäller även kanken. I'm from Sweden, so I can actually pronounce this. I've heard people trying to pronounce it and it sounds weird.
Messy bun, mine is especially messy because my hair is too short. Puka shell necklaces, which I honestly cannot believe are back in style, but they are. And birkenstocks. I'm a big Birk fan. I'm also a fan of Birken socks. It's a look, okay? I bought these babies in 2017, and that summer I was a camp counselor for the first time for teen girls. And one day, one of the teen girls called me a granola hippie, and she was making fun of my clothing. The fun thing is, I overheard this because I happened to be walking behind her. It's so fun being bullied by a teen. But anyway, who's the winner now? Birkenstocks are stylish for the kids these days. But anyway, to me, VSCO girls just seem like kind of the classic skinny, white, but tan, beachy girls. Like, I'm from Southern California, so that aesthetic isn't super surprising to me. They're also probably wealthy considering the prices of the products that they wear and use. And most of these items are available at Urban Outfitters, which we all know is a pretty pricey, trendy store. By the way, I was there the other day with my boyfriend looking around, and you know, there were a bunch of like cute, like 14-year-old girls back to school shopping with their moms, and I was like, am I too old to be here? Because I feel like it. By the way, which came first? Did these trends happen and then Urban decided to sell the items, or did Urban sell the items and create the trend? Which came first, the vegan chicken or the vegan egg? All I know is that Urban Outfitters is trendy teen paradise and also trendy paradise for adults like me. We're hip, we're young. But anyway, when people first asked me to make a video about this, I was like, what is there to say? This is just a current trend of teen girl style. But there is more, there is so much more. VSCO girls have become a meme, and therefore people are posting a lot of jokes about them and creating these parody videos.
This is my hydro flask. You don't have one?
You may have noticed my scrunchies. I have 2, one to share. Take it. Oop, oop. It's a kanken.
Let's be real, some of those are funny and some of those are more embarrassing than the actual meme itself. It is kind of fun to say. The thing is, I don't know if any girls actually act like that IRL. Like, are they really out humble bragging about the items that they have and literally offering to give you them because you're untrendy and poor? Take it. No, it's fine, take it. And I also don't know the extent to which people actually say sk 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 and a oop out loud. Sk 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 and a oop. Stan Twitter alleges that these phrases have been stolen and reappropriated by the VSCO girls. And I'm just kind of confused because generally I don't really understand Stan Twitter. But I don't know why they would think that they own and I oop. It's literally a meme that everyone loves. Can someone explain to me? What if Stan Twitter attacks me because of this? Hashtag tiffanyferg is over party. But anyway, some people in response to seeing all of these memes and parody videos are like, why do we have to make fun of teenage girls for their hobbies or their interests or whatever their style is? Leave them alone. And to an extent, I totally agree. I don't think that young girls should be made fun of for liking whatever they like or dressing how they'd like to dress. It's pretty much in the nature of being a young person to want to follow trends and look cute and do what's popular. But based on the content that I've seen, yes, the videos are making fun of these type of girls, but again, do they really exist? Is there really a girl going and oop? I don't know. Maybe she does feel attacked right now. But generally, I don't think that this is mean-spirited. Most of what I've seen is actually Gen Zers themselves poking fun at the whole trend. And Gen Z is a very ironic generation. I applaud their sense of humor because for the most part, they're hilarious. They love memes. They've grown up on memes. They're so lucky. Anyway, they know that VSCO girl culture is slightly cringy and it's a bit overdone, but at the same time, it is still popular and thus rewards people socially if they take part in it. And it's fun to dress up like this, so why not? Anyway, another comparison that is being made, especially by slightly older people, is that VSCO girls are basically the new Tumblr girls. I used to be so into Tumblr, I think as we all were, at like 14-ish. Back then, Tumblr girls looked like this. Long hair, high-waisted shorts, those like fringy cut-up tops that were like $80. DIY, you ever heard of it? At that time, I actually made my own parody video because back then I was snarky and sarcastic and not like other girls. By the way, I want to make a video on that because that's a whole thing. But that's kind of my point. Like, as a teen girl, I would have loved to become Tumblr famous for taking cute pictures. At the same time, I was making fun of it though because it's basic. But really, I find it interesting that when something is popular, you know, it's cute, it's trendy, but it reaches a certain threshold, and once it passes that, it enters basic territory. Tumblr girls were basic, VSCO girls are considered basic, and basic has a negative connotation, but it's also a self-deprecating term. You know, we've all been like, I'm basic, but nothing's gonna change that. Can I have a pink drink, please? Because at the end of the day, it may be basic, but it is still popular. Among young people especially, being basic is not the worst thing in the world. If anything, it's safe, it's comforting. At least you're doing things that are generally considered to be acceptable. You're most likely not gonna be bullied for fitting in. So this is where alternative styles come in. There's always been a conflict between basic popular kids and different kids, you know? It's usually a form of preppy versus goth, clean cut versus edgy. It's a tale as old as time. There is just always a counterculture that's gonna resist the more popular styles. And they often also have different taste in music, art, etc. So today, the antithesis of a VSCO girl is an e-girl. So what's an e-girl? Mixing alternative aesthetics like thick chains, chokers, monochrome stripes, and dramatic eyeliner with softer, anime-inspired qualities like little hearts drawn under their eyes, caked on blush, and rainbow-colored hair. They're easily recognizable. If VSCO girls are the new Tumblr girls, then e-girls are the new MySpace scene queens. The term e-girl didn't start on TikTok. The earliest definitions of e-girl on Urban Dictionary date back to 2013 and describe them as internet sluts. They're girls who seek out gamer boys, luring them in with good looks and flirtation in hopes of getting their most prized commodity: attention. In short, it's a misogynist insult born of boys fantasizing that girls who share their hobbies are clamoring for their time and energy. So to reiterate, e-girls originated as gamer girls, Twitch streamers, but now the e-girl aesthetic has become pretty popular on Instagram and especially on TikTok. And not all of those e-girls are into gaming, but I'm sure some of them are. As much as TikTok is about memes, it's also about just looking cool, being funny, and getting likes. Speaking of, follow me on TikTok. So why TikTok of all platforms? I still think of TikTok as its predecessor, Musical.ly. We all have unfortunately heard of it. Musical.ly merged with TikTok, and now TikTok is known as the new Vine. So there's some comedic content on there, but there's still a lot of the cringy, lip syncing, dancing, thirst trap videos. But a lot of people use TikTok ironically, I guess, and make like ironic TikToks. We love irony. Do we know what it means? Sometimes. Irony is a staple of Gen Z humor, even if they're not always using the word correctly. Meme pages, for example, have given way to ironic meme pages. Aren't memes like themselves ironic humor? How do you make an ironic meme? I don't know. Funny TikTok compilations on YouTube have been replaced with ironic ones. What it signals more than anything is self-awareness. So back to our VSCO girls, I don't really even know if there are actual girls, VSCO girls on TikTok, behaving in the way that they are being portrayed to be, because all I've seen are people parodying them. So I don't know if it came from an actual real person or if it's just a caricature. But anyway, undoubtedly, TikTok is the new place to become internet famous. Much like Vine, where it was possible to create an account and gain a following really quickly because the chances are high for random people to come across your posts. On TikTok, it is also potentially possible to gain a lot of new followers if you're put on their homepage. I haven't even downloaded the app. I don't know how it works, but I'm sure there's some kind of a highlighted section. The growth potential is very high, especially if you're cute. Because as with every social media platform, that is one of the easiest ways to get followers. I thought it would be kind of fun, and I was joking with my friends saying, oh, if I dress up as an anime girl, I'll get famous. And then I did. And then it sort of transformed into this whole e-girl thing. So e-girls have been embracing the term that was previously thrown at them in a derogatory way, and they are reclaiming it proudly. I don't think it's offensive when people call me an e-girl, and I don't think it's offensive when people comment that I'm looking for attention, because that's what anyone's doing on the app. I love that attitude. So now let's discuss some similarities between VSCO girls and e-girls. There's a little bit of an overlap in some of the aesthetics and some of the pieces or inspiration. A lot of it is 90s inspired because honestly, everything is 90s inspired currently. Love that. But specifically, there's also like a childlike element. There's some nostalgia, you know, throwbacks to childhood, even though a lot of these kids are not 90s kids. They're born like after year 2000. And I don't think it's just 90s inspiration. There's probably some early 2000s inspiration thrown in there as well. But things like bright barrettes being popular again. Scrunchies, of course. VSCO girls are wearing Crocs, unironically, and they're making friendship bracelets. It's actually very cute and fun and wholesome. I find it really funny that, you know, we've all seen those memes that are like, what I looked like when I was 12, what 12-year-olds look like today. I feel like a lot of 12-year-olds want to look 20, but then you've got these like 14 to 17-year-olds who are kind of trying to look 6. Now, what does that say about us, you know? Did these kids grow up too fast and they feel like they missed out on their childhood and now they're trying to reclaim their youth? That's a potential. I don't know. However, with e-girls, there's also potential to cross over to the like, I'm baby culture.
The pigtails along with the pink nose, eyes, and cheeks are indicative of youth. It's a little DDLG. There's an element of BDSM, kink, and fetish wear too. A hypersexualized child aesthetic, which also borrows from anime, means that e-girls often look both older and younger than they are.
I really hope I don't get demonetized just for saying the word sexualization. But anyway, also with e-girls, kind of on that note, there's something that I found out that's a little bit disturbing, a little bit uncomfortable. A lot of these girls make this particular face in pictures that I guess they think is like quirky. It's like, blah.
Trying to explain this without being demonetized, but also I don't want to use girls' pictures as an explanation because I don't know how old they are. So I'm using Belle Delphine as an example because not only is she of legal age, but she specifically posts explicit content. Yeah, this article was referencing her and is explaining this expression. Yeah.
So teen girls may be making this face and not realize the context. That's a big yikes. Now, of course, there are adult performers who are of legal age who maybe play into this kind of character, this kind of style, and of course it's perfectly legal and acceptable for them to do that, but it just makes me so uncomfortable imagining teen girls like making a face for selfies and just not knowing what the implication of that is. Because many e-girls are actually young and they just like the aesthetic. And some of them on TikTok are being targeted, you know, with explicit messages or requests for pictures, and it's just fucked up. Leave the girls alone. Anyway, that's dark. Moving on. Also kind of related to being inspired by anime style or Japanese styles, I want to bring up McKenna Kalin, who is currently known as Cozykitsune, previously known as simplykenna. She's actually a friend of a friend, but I've never spoken to her. I've just come across her YouTube and her Instagram a couple of times. But I think she's a strong example of someone who really embraces these different like online aesthetics. Though I'm sure she wears them in real life also, but she's definitely prominent online because of her style. She's currently living in Tokyo, and before she moved, she was very open about her love for Japan and Japanese style and culture and all things kawaii. But her style has definitely changed with the times. I remember when I first came across her YouTube, it was probably 2014, maybe 2015, and she looked like this. And I remember being really jealous of her hair because my ideal hairstyle, if I could choose what naturally came out of my head, would be like curly brown hair that I could chop and wear like that. It's my favorite. Anyway, in the time since, McKenna has gone through a lot of different phases and her style has changed many, many times. She's been accused of changing herself to fit trends, and she's also been accused of much worse, such as stealing art, but I don't want to talk about that too much. There are entire videos dedicated to that if you really want to look it up. Anyway, my ultimate point of this little segment is that looking good and keeping up with trends is one major element for a lot of people in gaining followers and maintaining followers. So many people are Instagram famous or even famous on YouTube or TikTok or any other platform simply because they look good and people like their aesthetic. It is a business, and some people choose to follow these trends and things because it's beneficial to their business. Of course, people changing their style or whatever could be a personal choice. Maybe they just want to express themselves through different aesthetics, I don't know. But either way, regardless, it gets likes, views, comments, followers. So it is undoubtedly a valuable strategy in terms of business and money to follow trends, whether it's intentional or 100% genuine. So on that note, it is not just McKenna doing this. We see people on social media adopt all of these different styles pretty frequently, and sometimes they are accused of that. They're accused of being inauthentic, and we as an audience may hate when we perceive something as inauthentic, but that's not going to stop creators from doing it. We've heard so many YouTubers say, oh, I made that type of content because it was popular. I actually hated making it, but it was getting the views, so what you gonna do? Going back to the issue of girls being made fun of for dressing a certain way or liking specific things, I do not think that anyone should be mocked or bullied for that. When someone online changes or tries something new, they're often accused of copying someone else or trying to be something that they're not. But what if they are just experimenting? Or what if this is what they've always wanted to dress like or act like, and they're finally expressing their true self? And even if someone were intentionally copying a trend for the sake of getting popular, is that really such a bad thing? Like, is it an earth-shattering revelation? I don't think so. It might be annoying, try hard, or inauthentic, but does it bother you like that much? Like if a creator I like suddenly did a 180 and changed up their personal style, I'd be like, all right, cool. I hope your content stays good. Stays good. And ultimately, I think people care less about physical changes and care more about personality. Like, as long as you're still acting your true self, as long as you're not putting on an actual front and changing your personality as the wind blows, then that's cool. I don't know. Am I getting off track? Yes. Let's continue. One last point that I want to make is that styles like VSCO girls and e-girls, these styles are kind of a refreshing contrast compared to the completely face-tuned bodies that we see on Instagram, a la the Kardashians. I mean, it's truly mind-blowing. If you've ever spent time looking through those Instagram versus real life pages, it is insane what some people on Instagram are passing off as their actual body. So at least, being a VSCO girl or an e-girl or whatever other style or trend comes up, at least that's a different option. I think it's a good thing for girls to not have to have an impossibly tiny waist and thick thighs. They can wear a big t-shirt and a messy bun and feel like they're cute and on trend. Or you can sit in your room, do a cute makeup look, embrace your creativity. I don't know, I just think that these style ideals feel a lot more fun and a lot more healthy, a lot more achievable for the average person compared to the literal facetuned, photoshopped, unreal Instagram aesthetics that are popular. E-girls and boys style is the antidote to the homogenized IG aesthetic. It's like the antithesis of the glam Insta model. Plus one last thing, with
VSCO.
girls specifically, the whole like hydro flask and like metal straw save the turtles thing. I think it's nice that there's an element of environmentalism in their little philosophy. It's not a philosophy. And yes, you may be saying, oh, they're only doing that because it's trendy. But I think at the end of the day, if environmentalism or things that are good socially are trendy, that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. I just hope that they continue to use reusable bottles and avoid plastic after this. But it's a good start, you know? Like, it's like in 21 Jump Street where they're talking about like recycling being cool. There's always gonna be pressure, there's always gonna be trends, but it's like, if you make it trendy to like care about the planet and be nice to each other, then hell yeah. So anyway, shout out to the teen girls out there. Shout out to anybody out there. If you find joy in following a trend, who cares? Enjoy it. Be basic once in a while. Be a little alternative. Do this to your face. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I actually had a lot of fun with it, and I'm gonna sleep in this makeup. No, I'm not. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed it. You can follow me on Instagram for some mediocre pics. And stay tuned for my next Instagram forgetting what this series is called. Stay tuned for my next internet analysis video. Thanks for watching. Okay, thanks, bye.